Prabhupada ki jai. Om Gyantamarandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So today, two verses which we will discuss from 13th chapter Bhagavad-gītā, 25 and 26. So let us start with 25. Dhyanenatmani pashyanti kechit atmanam atmana अन्ये सांख्येन योगेन कर्म yogena chapare. Translation by Divine Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Some perceive the super soul within themselves through meditation, others through the cultivation of knowledge, and still others through working without fruitive desires. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Go to the 26th verse. Anye tvevam ajanantah Shrutvanyebhya upasate tepi chatira rantyeva mrityum shruti parayanaha. Translation by Divine Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Again, these are those who, although not conversant in spiritual knowledge, begin to worship the Supreme Person upon hearing about him from others. Because of their tendency to hear from authorities, they also transcend the path of birth and death. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Om Gyantamarandasya Jnananjanashalakaya. So, two wonderful verses. We can try to understand what it is. See, from the 20th up to 26th verse, Krishna explains Prakriti, nature, Purusha, and their union. See, conditioned souls, we are all actually conditioned. So conditioned souls, they always desire to control and enjoy matter, right? So in that case, what happens? They're bound by the material nature. Whereas actually, the factual enjoyer and control is the super soul, the Paramatma, not the conditioned souls. So if you understand this, it will lead the conditioned living entities towards liberation. See, this 13.25 verse, we'll be discussing this and 26. See, one can achieve the understanding through various types of yogas. In verse number 22 up to 23, you can see the various types of yoga through which we can understand. See, some perceive the super soul through meditation, that is Dhyana Yoga. Others through the cultivation of knowledge, that is Sankhya Yoga. And still others through working without fruitive desires, and that is Karma Yoga. So in this verse, 25th verse, Krishna explains two classes of conditioned souls based on the search for self-realization. First one is the faithful, one who is faithful in spiritual life. So they are like very introspective devotees, philosophers, and workers who have renounced fruitive results. They are faithful in spiritual life. Whereas the second class is, they are atheists, right? They don't believe in anything. They are beyond the sense of spiritual understanding at all. And it also includes those who establish monism, right? Like impersonalism and all. See, devotees of the Lord, they are best situated in spiritual understanding. Why? Because they know that beyond the material nature are the spiritual world and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the same Supreme Personality of Godhead, he expands as Paramatma, Super Soul. Whereas the Sankhya philosophers, they are also a class in the class of faithful also. But the point is they analyze material world in 24 elements. That is, they place the soul as the 25th element and gradually realize the soul as the transcendental to material elements. So they realize the entity above the soul is the super soul, the 26th element. So finally come to devotional service in Krishna consciousness. See, what are these 24 elements? See, 5 elements: earth, water, fire, and ether. Then the 5 senses: eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and touch. And the 5 objects of the senses: form, taste, smell, sound, and touch. So these are the 5 objects of senses, like Rupa, Rasa, Shabda, Sparsha, Gandha, right? Form, touch, sound, taste, and smell. And then, so already 15 is 5, earth, water is 5 senses, the objects 15. Then their consideration is working senses, 5 working senses: hands, legs, belly, anus, and genitals. So now 20 is over. Then the 3 subtle elements: mind, intelligence, and false ego. Then the consideration is the Mahat Tattva, the sum total, the basic ingredient of material creation. So the finest material element, Mahat Tattva, from which this material nature became manifested. Now, after the Mahat Tattva, there is an observer. So this material nature is there. But someone is witnessing this material nature, observing the material nature, the subject, right? So that subject is I. So this I did not fall in these 24 elements. So I is different. So the material nature has been analyzed by these 24 considerations, but the I couldn't be found in there. So this I is a 25th consideration, and it is non-material. And then that is, the I is nothing but the soul, Atma. And then the supreme soul is the super soul, Paramatma, 26th consideration. So the main point is, what Sankhya is doing is that Sankhya is taking us beyond the material nature. And that is the purpose of Sankhya. So in Bhagavad-gītā also, Krishna briefly gives the essence of Sankhya, just in 2 verses. He's establishing that Sankhya in the form of, in 7.4 and 7.5 Bhagavad-gītā. Bhumi rapo analo vayuhu, kham mano buddhir evacha, ahankara eti yamme, bhinna prakriti ashtada. Then 7.5 says, apareyam itastvanyam, prakritim viddhi me param, jiva bhutam mahabaho, yayedam dharyate jagat. So these are the Sankhya. Then the renounced workers, they are also in the category of faithful and are perfect in their attitude. And so they are also given a chance to progress in Krishna consciousness. Now, what is the connection between verse number 25 and 26? That is, can one advance in the spiritual activities if we can meditate or pursue Sankhya or practice Nishkama Karma Yoga? So 26th verse very nicely says, Bhakti is the easiest and the best path to understand this science. So this verse, 13.26 verse, talks about those who although not very conversant with spiritual knowledge, right? Talks about those, and they begin to worship the Supreme Person upon hearing about him from others. See, there are people who are not very much conversant with the devotional service, spiritual, but they begin to start worshipping after hearing about him from others. And because of the tendency to hear, Shravanam, they also transcend the path of birth and death. So the conclusion is that hearing with faith, right? Hearing with faith from authorities, it has got great potency. So this verse especially applies to the modern society, 13.26. Because in modern society, there is practically no education in spiritual matters. See, some people appear atheistic or philosophical, but actually they have no knowledge of philosophy. So what is the qualification? Any common man, if a good soul, has a chance of advancing just by hearing, right? That is a qualification. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stresses hearing as very important process, Shravanam. Simply hear from authority, and especially hearing Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Very, very auspicious, very, very powerful and potent. Just by when you are chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Just by you're chanting loudly and you're hearing your own sound, that is transcendental vibration. It is very potent. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommends in Bhagavatam 10:14:3 that there is no need to change your position. Sthane sthita, wherever you are, continue chanting. So only give up the endeavor to know absolute truth by speculative reasonings. Give up that. Don't be speculative. Oh, it will be like this, maybe like this. No. Just have the faith and just chant. So learn to become servant of those in knowledge of the Supreme Lord, pure devotees. So the benediction is, if one takes advantage of hearing from realized souls, he gradually understands everything. Automatically leads to Supreme Lord's worship. By good fortune, you will take shelter of pure devotees. Hear from him and follow his footsteps. Then gradual elevation to pure devotion happens. See, generally, people, they do not know what is the value of spiritual knowledge. Mudha. You know what is Mudha? They are all called as Mudas. Fools. I am not saying, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning. And Dushkritena. Dushkritena means always engaged in sinful activities. So, if you do not have Krishna consciousness, then you're eating, then you're sleeping or walking, whatever you're doing, it is all sinful. Unless you come to Krishna consciousness, whatever you are acting in your daily life, it is sinful. Padam padam yad vipadam. 10th canto, 14th chapter, 58th verse. This world is so made that in every step you are creating some dangerous position. Padam padam yad vipadam. This metal world is like that. Na hanyate hanyamane sharire. 2.20 Bhagavad-gītā says. So you are not dead simply by annihilation of the body. Na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Nitya shashvato ayam. See, you are nitya, shashvata. Na jayate, na mriyate. That is, you have no birth, no death. Actually, you don't have any birth or death. See, the birth and death is simply changing of body. Just like we have changed so many bodies. See, I was a child, but the child body is no longer to be seen. That does not mean I am dead. I had my body of a child, and that body is now finished. So there is no such body. See, you can see in the photograph your body, right? Childhood body. Where is that body now? That body is gone. So body gone, but you are living. So where is the difficulty to understand? And Krishna says, Na hanyate hanyamane sharire, 2.20 Bhagavad-gītā. So the body being lost, the person is not lost. Person is living. Similarly, see, when this body, this old body, when it not be in a workable condition, the machine will not act. So I or you, every one of us will have to change the body. Suppose your car is going on. Somehow or the other car stops. Then you take another car and continue your journey. The car stops to work, right? Does not mean that the man who is in the car, he also stops. Understood? No, he continues. Therefore, it is said in the Bhagavad-gītā, Na hanyate hanyamane sharire. So your work is not stopped. You are transferred to another body. So this 13.26 is a very nice verse about hearing, Shravanam. Very, very important. In the purport, Prabhupada very nicely says, some of the people may appear to be atheistic or agnostic or philosophical, but actually there is no knowledge of philosophy. As for the common man, if he is a good soul, then there is a chance for advancement by hearing. The hearing process is very, very important. Good soul means God's soul. So hearing is very important. So it is a beautiful verse for hearing. Bhagavatam verse 177. Yasyam vai shruyamanayam Krishne parama purushe bhaktir utpadyate pumsaha shoka moha bhayapaha. Simply by giving oral reception to this Vedic literature, the feeling of loving devotional service to Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, sprouts up at once to extinguish the fire of lamentation, illusion, and fearfulness. It's very easy to understand. Yasyam means those people. Yasyam means those people. Prabhupada says in this verse also, even a common man, if he's a good soul, then good soul will definitely come to the hearing stage. See, Prabhupada's sentences are perfect. You cannot even avoid few words here and there, right? So perfect. Srimad Bhagavatam also says here that Yasyam vai shruya manayam. If you hear, why means certainly. If you hear certainly. See, with the 2 ears, we are hearing so much scratch. Why we have one mouth or 2 ears? Speak less, hear no, hear double. We have to hear very Krishna conscious spiritual activities. So here, see, Suta Goswami is recommending Krishna Parama Purushe. You hear about Krishna because he is Parama Purusha, transcendental Lord. And if you hear about Krishna, what is the result? Is given in the third line. That is Bhaktir Utpadyate Pumsam. Then Bhakti starts in our life. So you are attracted to Krishna. And as soon as you are attracted to Krishna, then Bhakti starts. So as soon as the devotional service is there, then you come here, you clean something, perform arati, attend arati, speak to the Lord, look to the Prabhupada, serve the devotees, come and eat prasadam. This is all bhakti. And particularly bhakti is very nicely translated as devotional service by Srila Prabhupada. So we should come here and do some service. That is very important. So you should ask the person in charge for service. So as soon as we help him in devotional service, then the result is Bhaktir Utpadyate Pupsa. As soon as you have devotional service, then 3 things vanish from your life. Please understand. As soon as you have devotional service in your life, 3 things will vanish from your life. Shoka, Moha, Bhaya. Lamentation, illusion, and fearfulness. So shoka or lamentation goes away. You don't lament for anything. You're very happy. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. Na shochati, na kankshati. No lamentation at all. You don't even think about it. When you're hearing now in the 45 minutes, half an hour, you don't think about anything. You don't lament about anything. There's no illusion, there is no fear. Sama sarveshu bhuteshu. All living entities are same for us. Mad bhaktir labate param. This is what we get as a result of devotional service. So those who run after Krishna are called Brahma Bhuta. Those who are run after Krishna, they are called as Brahma Bhuta. And as soon as we run after Krishna, we are very happy. But what happens? We want to be Patni Bhut and become miserable. Bhagavad-gītā says, become Brahma Bhut. But you become Patni Bhut, Rice Bhut, Kichdi Bhut. We are all Bhutas. And if there is no other kind of Bhut, then we become only Bhut, ghosts. So you have to be Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma, na shochati, na kankshati. See, we don't think about anything. We don't desire anything. Na shochati, na kankshati. That is how a living entity becomes. And that is why there is no lamentation. And if there is no lamentation, there is no illusion also. See, he knows very well that he has to leave this planet. It's temporary. We are not permanent here. This is not our permanent home. See, we know very well. We realize that we are here, maybe for some time. And somehow or the other, we have to organize our life, our maintenance. Minimum time we should utilize in those activities. And maximum time should be spared to know about Krishna. So this is not only our philosophy, but the practical point and the practical formula to become happy is very important. That's what is all the Bhagavad-gītā and Bhagavatam informs us, gives us the instructions. So if you don't do those instructions, don't do that, then you will always be unhappy. Then you are sick. Sickness will not be there till you are with Krishna. Because Krishna is never sick. Have you heard any time that Krishna is suffering from so-and-so disease? Or he is not well, he is sick? No. Because his body is completely spiritual. So as soon as you run after the spiritual Lord, Krishna, your body also doesn't remain material. It is only material when you are not attracted to Krishna. Till that time, it is material. So as soon as you come here, you are very happy to see the devotees. They are smiling. They give you prasadam. All these things are spiritual. And because of all these things are spiritual, you are again and again and again attracted to this house or this program, this place, this temple. So there is nothing really new here, right? It is the same wall, same bricks, same everything. Wherever you go, wherever Krishna conscious activities are going, same wall, everything. But Krishna is here. That is the difference. That is why we are all attracted to this group and again and again. Every day you are coming for this Bhagavad-gītā Prabhupada 645, right? So it is the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and all the acharyas, right, who are working very hard to give us this wonderful Krishna consciousness. So come to devotional service and it will only sprout if you hear properly. And mere hearing is not enough. You have to think about it again and again. And what you have heard again and again, you have to try to put it into practice. Right? Hear, think, and put it into practice. This is realization. Discover, understand, apply. So when you put it into practice, your life becomes completely sublime and you become very, very happy. That's what Prabhupada says in the purport of this 13.26, right? Lord Chaitanya, who preached Krishna consciousness in the modern world, he gave great stress to hearing. Because if the common man simply hears from authoritative sources, he can progress. Especially according to Lord Chaitanya, if he hears the transcendental vibration, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare, he can progress. Guaranteed. So next time when we come, we should at least memorize those 4 verses, at least the seed verses, 4 seed verses of Bhagavad-gītā. 10.8, 9, 10, 11. See, in one of the classes, when my Guru was given classes, when he told about this, one devotee, Maharaj, my memory is, it's very difficult to, my memory is not very good. So Maharaj said, what do you mean by no memory? You don't forget your name. Then where is no memory? If there is no memory, then you should forget your name, isn't it? You don't forget your wife's name. Why? You have got memory. No memory is not an excuse for not studying the verses or memorizing the verses and translations. You're not trying. Why do you remember your name or your wife's name? Because it is repeated so many times. And you like yourself. And you like, so that is why you remember your name. You like your wife, and that is why you remember her name. You don't forget the names of sons, daughters, sons-in-law, daughters-in-law, or whatever it is. We don't forget them. Why? Because we like them. And so many times we keep repeating them. So the point to understand is repetition is required for the verses, for memorizing the verses and translation. It's not that you don't have the memory. Repetition is required. See, very nicely researched in America by somebody that we have so much of intelligence that we only use only 10% of the intelligence during our lifetime. And the remaining 90% we surrender at the time of death. You cannot say 90% intelligence I will use in the next life. Not possible. It cannot be put in the go down, right? So we have to try to utilize our intelligence, and this vibration of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is very, very important. So hearing, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, right? That's why in 284, Shranmata Shraddhaya Nityam, Granatascha Swacheshtitam, Kalena na ati dirghena, Bhagavan Vishate Hridi. Persons who hear Srimad Bhagavatam regularly and are always taking the matter very seriously will have the personality of God Sri Krishna manifested in their hearts within a short time. It's a beautiful verse. So very powerful. So this gives us encouragement and inspiration, right? Persons who hear Srimad Bhagavatam regularly, Nityam Bhagavata Sevya, and are always taking the matter very seriously. Hearing regularly and taking it very seriously. What happens? Krishna will manifest in the hearts within a short time. Within a short time. Vishate Hridi. Kale na ati digrina. No delay. The Maharaj Parishit personally recommends that one hears Srimad Bhagavatam regularly, Nityam. Always by one's own effort. And with serious devotion also. So if Parikshit was benefited by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. So Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Grantraj Srimad Bhagavad-gītā ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much, Prabhu Mataji, for giving this opportunity to glorify the Lord and purify myself.